Morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Joe.
A beautiful morning it is, indeed.
It is a beautiful morning.
Yeah.
Too bad we couldn't get these on the weekend.
Yeah, we just need to, like I was saying before we got on this morning, we should just have the weeks off and work over the weekends.
That's a bad idea.
Seems to be the case.
Sorry.
But it is helping with all the construction that's going on, and seems like on every street in the city right now.
Yeah, and I know that contributes to some of the traffic woes we have, and but it's so necessary, the work. But, that'll be closing down in a few weeks as we get into the colder weather when the asphalt plants close down. So they're in the contractors and DPW are in a real push to get the stuff finished up before the winter.
Yeah, as we speak right now, they're pouring new sidewalks at Foster Street and Washington Street, right in front of the library here.
Yes, and I know, and part of that was the ADA stuff. I think that created a bunch of curb cuts and those special ramp guards they were installing as well, which is all required under ADA. So we're made a lot of progress on that kind of public works projects.
Absolutely. It's a hustling area now for sure, with all the development and future development to come.
Indeed.
Can we talk a little bit, Mayor, about the De Cristofaro Early Learning Center? There was an update to the City Council last night. If you could maybe explain a little bit about where that project is and where it's going.
Sure. Well, I wasn't privy to all the detail last night, but having said that, it's really come a long way. It's very exciting. I'm going to have a walkthrough this coming week. I haven't been there in a while. So the last time I was there, really, it was more when things were gutted out. And, of course, the building's essentially been rebuilt internally. And it's built to meet code and the standards for students with autism. And when you're dealing with, more of a challenged population, there's a lot more mechanicals, plumbing required, a lot more bathrooms required. So it gets expensive. But we use ARPA money and ESSER money. ESSER money comes to the federal government through the pandemic and COVID for educational purposes. This meets portion of that certainly. And then we applied to Norfolk County with some of their ARPA money, which they're distributing around the county, and we've got about $8.7 million from the county. So about $15 million of the project, roughly $30 million, half of it is federal dollars, which I think is tremendous. And it's as we've talked about before, two main pieces on this, Joe. One is the families of these students. They don't want these students all over the state, an hour and a half away, bus ride in the morning, an hour and a half bus ride in the afternoon. So why not have our own state-of-the-art facility right here in Quincy where the families live? So it's much easier for a parent to get to their child, number one. Number two is the incredible facility this is going to be, not only because of the actual building and all the components and bells and whistles, but we have a pretty good record of incredible staff in our school system, and we've had a lot of interest for people wanting to come to school, teach at this school, which is also tremendous. So as we kind of ramp this up, in a sense, we'll open this up for tours, and people can come in with their families and the children to check things out, to make sure it meets their standard. And I think they're going to be blown away, quite frankly. And then finally, Joe, on it is over time, because of the cost of outsourcing some of the tuitions, transportation expenses related to the education of some of these children, we're going to save money over time. I mean, it's a win-win all around. So it's exciting. We're going to dedicate it on Sunday, October 22nd, to Dr. De Cristofaro, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to then have open house and tours at 2 o'clock for the public, and don't have to be a family member of QPS. It could be just the average Joe looking to see what is involved in a building like this. So we'll be opening that up. And then, of course, after the first of the year, perhaps moving some of the folks from Della Chiesa over, and then begin to ramp up so that by September of next year, we'll be fully open, and my guess is we'll be filled up pretty quickly.
So, and anything that parents of children need to do now if they want their students to attend this center?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay.
I think that you'll be hearing from our own school department in the coming weeks to schedule tours. And as I mentioned, there's the open house for the public, but going forward, I believe they're going to be scheduling private tours for families to come in and go through it.
Okay.
So that's what generally a population does before they, send their kid out to a place. They want to see what it's all about, what it includes. So we'll be doing a very similar thing. And Erin Perkins, Deputy Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent, her specialty has been the special needs issues over the years. So she's extremely excited about this, as the superintendent is. So I'm sure she's going to be running things as far as coordinating the tours and for the families that may have an interest.
So again, and it's important, I think, to point out too that it's voluntary, right? If parents are happy with the current plan, they can keep that as well.
That's correct.
Yeah, very good. A couple of resolutions at last night's council meeting involving the administration, Mayor, I thought we could talk about. One was a reinstatement of the Quarry Hills Advisory Committee. Is that something that you think you'd support?
Yeah, I don't, I haven't read the resolution, Joe, so I always like to take a look at it first, but I'll certainly take it under advisement, and I'm open to that.
And the second was requesting a review of zoning ordinances for marijuana establishments.
Sure, be happy to take a peek at that as well. I think we've always got to continue to check in on our zoning and how it relates to the quality of life of our city. So, and the city council certainly controls zoning in the city. So, I'm open to that for sure.
Very good. You know what I did want to mention, Mayor? Almost every council meeting I see a donation from the Copeland Family Foundation to the DARE program. And last night was particularly notable because it was $10,000. And I don't feel that they get a lot of mention or support for these donations, but they make quite a substantial donation over time and probably keep that DARE program going.
Yes, and that was the family that had the Pepsi plant in Milton.
Okay.
Many years ago when the big companies bought out all the locals, and I know they did very well financially, but they've been sharing their, the wealth, so to speak. And I got to believe there's a connection there between someone on the police and the Copeland family, because they have been consistently donating to the DARE program in the police department for many, many years. And we're certainly grateful to that. The DARE program does some great work in trying, the prevention side of things when it comes to alcohol and drug use. They started at a very young age. So we're grateful to the Copeland Family Trust for sure.
Absolutely. And the Food Truck Festival is coming up, and we're hoping for good weather this weekend.
It's unbelievable how consistent on the weekends have been lousy. A lot of work goes into this. It's 5 bands, and I think they got 25 food trucks lined up.
Yep.
It's always a great take in the fall, but we'll be watching the weather. Unfortunately, it doesn't look great right now, but it's several days away.
Exactly, yep. Well, if the trend keeps up, it'll be good news for the skating rink, Mayor, that you're planning in Quincy Center?
Yes, indeed. Another opportunity to liven things up in the downtown, provide the public with an opportunity for public skating. We're doing this through our district improvement financing. It's a temporary rink that's set up, but it is powered up, so it has a cooling in it, so you don't have to completely depend on the weather, although the weather still plays a major factor in it. But to keep the ice from watering down. We're excited about it, and I know the merchants in the downtown are excited about it as well. The other day after the Ronan Tynan event, Joe, we had about 700 on the Common, and all the restaurants were jammed afterwards. So we do these kinds of events. It not only is a great community event where people can come and enjoy, but generally people then go and have something to eat in the downtown, which obviously supports local business. So, the vibrancy of the downtown is important to us as a government, but also to our establishments who have worked very hard, particularly through the pandemic, to make it. And we got some real quality restaurants in the downtown. So it's going to be fun. It'll be exciting. I know that we're going to be opening it up, I think, the weekend that we put the lights on, I think. And, of course, the school vacation weeks during Christmas and February, I think it'll be well used.
Where would it be actually located?
It's going to be over by the General's Bridge on McConville Way.
Oh, okay.
The parking lot.
Yep.
That used to have a building on it.
Right.
That one there.
Okay. All right. Something new and
Get your
different.
skates ready, Joe.
It's been a long time. That would not be pretty.
Yeah, the good thing is, though, if you and I were on skates, we don't have far to fall.
This is very true. I always pointed that out every time I fell. For me, it was just pond hockey, though, when I was a kid. There were no such thing as skating rinks. Yeah.
Very different.
Thanks for your time, Mayor. Good to talk to you.
Enjoy the day.
You too. Bye-bye.